I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Riverdale After Show. What a crazy episode that is. We have some good stuff to talk about tonight. And so far, first off, we're gonna go with just this whole Jughead, Betty drama, mystery. There's so much going on. The Stonies are up to their normal shenanigans, and then we're gonna tie up some of the other little things at the end. And then of course, at the end, we'll be doing our class president. So if you guys have a class clown and class president for this episode, please start sending them in the live chat. I am Katie. I am flying solo tonight, everyone, so please join me in the chat if you have some thoughts so that I can also use you guys as my co-host because I will be relying on you greatly tonight. So, first off, what a way to start this episode in the sense that we didn't have Jughead narrating it. And that really hit me. Now, I don't know about the rest of you guys, so if you had thoughts on this, please send them to me in the chat because it kind of made me really sad because it really sank in that you're really gonna act like Jughead is dead. But then later on we realized he didn't, but that was definitely a different tone than we've ever been used to. So overall, that kind of set the tone and I was a little really stressed out watching it. But the quote they said, life is not an Agatha Christie novel. It's a lot messier. Forsyth Pendleton Jughead Jones died March 18th, 2020. Now,
that's my birthday.
That's your birthday?
That's
Ryan?
Ryan in the booth,
by the way. This is Ryan in the booth, y'all.
Oh, I almost just put the speed. Yeah, this is like old days, meaning like a month ago when it was just Frank and I on the show. Now it is Katie and I.
Yes.
And I cannot be more excited to talk about Riverdale. Granted, I have not watched an episode, but I'm great at bouncing things off of.
Yeah.
And shout out to Frank and Dontiera,
yes,
who are just on assignment tonight.
Yes. So they will be back with us next week as we talk about next week's episode. But
March 18th is my birthday.
March 18th is your birthday. Well, unfortunately for you in this show, Ryan, it was the day Jughead died. But did he? Which we learned he didn't. But we'll talk about that in a second. There was just so much going on, but it did feel like it had a very linear storyline this time, which I kind of liked because it didn't jump around too much. Also, I can't read the name on that chat, but someone says happy birthday to you, Ryan.
It's not quite there yet.
Oh,
but,
okay.
We're there soon.
I know, but
it's
they said happy early birthday.
Thank you. It will be on a Wednesday, so I'll be producing the Riverdale After Show.
Nice. Awesome. Sounds good. All right. So with Jughead, they did this whole documentary style, trying to research a behind the investigative journalism, I guess, documentary which was an interesting take for the show because we haven't seen that particular type of style yet, and I really like that. So it's this whole, I'm totally drawing a blank on Betty's mom right now, everyone, so I hope you will forgive me, but she is the one who is behind the camera interviewing all of Betty's friends about it. So it's so crazy. They're talking about him being dead, and they're giving their thoughts about it, and then all of a sudden, it turns to he's not dead. Now, we did all kind of have a feeling that Jughead was not dead. I mean, I know Ryan knows that because we mentioned it a couple times, but I don't know how to feel. It was just we all expected him to not be dead. So now that they took one episode to be like, psych, he's dead, and building it up this whole episode, and then it ends, and psych, he's not dead. And I feel like it was kind of a little bit underwhelming in the sense that we didn't really have enough time to comprehend that he was actually dead before he wasn't dead.
Right. I feel like a lot of TV shows, I'm trying to think of some famous TV shows that had some fake out deaths where it just didn't feel earned. I feel like that happened a lot with The Walking Dead the first couple of years, where you're just like, oh my God, this person's he died, and then they came back, and it just kind of loses. Man, I wish Cole Sprouse stayed dead.
Yeah, it was. I feel like for it to have been more powerful, we needed maybe a full episode of, we had his funeral, which was really a sweet moment in this episode where you get to see Betty do a speech, and she quotes Sherlock Holmes, which I don't know if any of you guys saw the irony in that, but she quotes a scene from Sherlock Holmes, which is basically commentary on a murder which is kind of a jab at the Stonies a little bit. And we had this brief moment, and then all of a sudden it moved on, and I just felt like because they crammed so much in, it just lessened it a little bit. Oh, Alice is her name. Thank you so much, chat. But yeah, Grace and Ryan, I see you said that you thought it was anticlimactic. So yeah, I very much agree with you on that. And then
I read someone say they couldn't risk losing the fans. That was also Grace and Ryan.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think it's always you risk killing off a main character in your show, and if they can use it as a plot device, that's good. But it's just like, did they do it well?
Yeah, I don't know that they did it well. I don't know that they did it bad. It was just kind of in the middle. So, I mean, I'm happy he's not dead. I think you all know that I'm definitely Team Jughead. I mean, I'm wearing him on my shirt tonight. I wore all black in mourning, and then thankfully I don't have to mourn much longer. But there's that part where like when they're all going in on this, you know, we see FP, we see Betty, all of these people go into Jughead's room to get stuff and like pick up his things and play along with it, only to find out that we were all talking about last week, who knows about Jughead's plan? Like, who's in on it? Is Betty in on it? Is Archie in on it? And then we find out that Charles, Jellybean, FP, Dr. Curdle Jr., and Archie's mom, Archie, and Veronica are all in on it. This is where they threw me, because I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that this big of a team knew that he was alive. But I mean, it makes sense with the stone and everything. So, just crazy. Let's see. Jazzy Jones, to be honest, I was happy that Jughead was still alive and that they were just planning to take down Stonewall Prep. And then Peyton McKenzie, who said they didn't drag the Jughead storyline since fans knew he was still alive. Yeah, true. I think that they kind of knew that we all did not expect him to be dead. So, yeah, but it was crazy. I mean, this whole episode, I mean, Ryan saw me at the end. I was pretty...
She was speechless,
I was just kind of like...
She couldn't... I was like, hey, how was it? And you were just like... Like, let's get... So much. How am I going to write the recap?
Yeah, exactly. So it was just crammed full of stuff. So I think for the most part, we covered all this craziness. We kind of all are on the same page in the chat about them kind of
executing.
Yes, very quickly this thing, but that is that. But before I move on to the next thing, I do want to say thank you all so much for joining me tonight and joining any of the other shows. If you like the shows like this and you appreciate them, please remember to give us a like on this video and to subscribe to the YouTube channel and to give us a review on Apple Podcasts, because if you guys do those things, it helps us continue to bring us the content that you love, and we are only here because of you. So thank you so much, everyone. Oh, I like that music one on that one. So, all right. On a side note, as part of that segue, we're talking about this elaborate scheme to basically take down the Stonies. We originally thought it was all this Jughead business, but really, we knew Jughead had this plan to take down the Stonies, but we never knew what it was. So we have to talk about them. It got a little crazy with the Stonewall Prep kids, and at first, up until now, we've thought that Brett was the head guy of Stonewall Prep. At the end of the episode, we find out Donna is the manipulative little insert word here. Which, by the way, they also threw around that word a lot in this episode. I don't know if anybody caught on to that. I was kind of surprised by that. Everybody was like all over the place with that. But first, Donna accuses Betty of faking Jughead's death. Then she accuses Betty of hiding his body. And so with them knowing every step that Betty's doing, they were on par with that tonight. She was right on the same level as Betty and knew exactly where she was going. And I'm going to give you guys a second to talk about the Stonewall Prep kids. If you guys have thoughts about those two, please let me know. And then she accuses Betty of being a nymphomaniac and that her plan is going to falter eventually. Now, I don't know that that's true necessarily about her plan faltering eventually. The other side, maybe. I'm not going to disagree with that. But then at the end, she suspects that Jughead is alive. And Brett does an interesting thing here, which surprised me. He said, I don't think that you're right on this. He doesn't side with her. And she slapped him. She slapped him. I don't know about you, but that got me. That was a little plot twist that I did not see, as the fact that Brett is being manipulated by her as well, and it's not him that's in charge of things. She's the brain behind it. What did you guys think? Did this part surprise you? Let's see. Jazzy Jones, Donna definitely seemed to be the smart one, but Donna is going crazy. It was funny to see. Yeah, she went pretty crazy. Even though they were talking about Barchi. I'm going to talk about that, so don't worry, people. I will talk about Barchi at the end of the episode. So yeah, like Donna, I have to give the actress mad props, because she really, really brought that performance, in the sense that we saw a lot of different sides of her this episode. But she is on to Betty. Betty knows that they're on to her, and they're always right a step behind her. But they're a lot closer than I think she realizes, with the whole... So she's very observant. So, Ryan, I do have a question for you.
Yes.
So if you were acting on impulse and, barging in to try to find a hidden, alive Jughead Jones in a bunker under the ground.
Right.
But instead, you walk in on Betty and Archie making out.
Ooh.
Would you be able to notice that there's like 3 milkshake cups in the bunker?
Milkshake cups.
Like, notice these little details.
Like, I barge in,
Yeah.
2 friends are kissing,
Yes.
and I notice the number of milkshake cups rather
Yes.
than anything else. I mean, I could see it happening if I came in and I was like, whoa, and I just was looking around like, oh my god, milkshakes. And then, but did they proceed? Do they proceed to continue to make out, or did they stop when I entered?
Well, so basically they were like, oh man, you found us. And it was all supposed to be a ruse, because she went to the bunker thinking that to find Jughead, instead found Betty and Archie. So she did go there hoping to find Jughead, so I'm sure that's probably why she caught on to it. But in general, would you notice little details like that?
I think the only way I would notice is if I was panicking to just change the subject, or to just act like I didn't see anything, and I'd be grasping at straws, if you will, and just kind of identifying anything in the room. Like, here, I'd be like, a computer, microphones, and just a quick shout out to everyone in the chat. Oh my God, Brian Alexander, Jazzy Jones, External Shockwave, Grace and Ryan. We super appreciate you guys, and you are our co-host tonight. Yeah,
and y'all are really at it. So I apologize if I don't see all of your thoughts, because you are typing faster than I can read.
There's someone named LeBron James in the chat, and I have a feeling that this is the real LeBron, because he wasn't playing tonight.
It's possible. You're not wrong.
Shout out to the GOAT in the chat.
But yeah, so on a side note, Donna, crazy. I think we can all agree with that. Donna has some major things. But now we're going to do a segue, because there's a lot of little tiny characters that we got to talk about that were all in some way involved in this Jughead thing, whether they knew it or not. For example, Archie decided to console Betty, and then Cheryl photographs them kissing in the I think it's the choir room. I forget what room it is, so I'm sorry that I blanked on that, folks. And it's all a ruse, basically, to throw everybody off of the scent of accusing Betty of all this different stuff. Now, how do we feel about that? Because I feel like it's like we all know Betty and Archie are probably gonna be endgame. We know they mentioned Barchi, which was really hysterical, because I felt like that was a little bit of fan service, where they mentioned Barchi and how everybody really wants them to be endgame, and that was that clever speech from Kevin there, which I really liked. And now everybody in the chat's freaking out about Barchi. Yeah, we're talking about that right now. So do we feel like, I feel like it was kind of forced, just because I feel like they know that's what the fans want, but I don't like the fact that, Jughead, at this point, we still think is dead. So all of us are like, wow, she moves on really quickly. But on the other side, then you find out he's not dead and this is all a ruse. And then it's still kind of a little bit unsettling still on the other side. And then both of their significant others, when Jughead finally has his reunion with Betty on screen, he asks her, did you feel anything with this kiss with Archie? Veronica asked Archie the same thing, and they lie. We all know they lie. They say, no, it's fine. You're the one for me. And then, as if we didn't believe it enough, Betty sends a text message to Archie saying, thanks for your help, basically. Thanks for kissing me. And then she says, I hope I wasn't a bad kisser, or something like that. And then he types something, and she sees those little dots that say he's typing something, and then he doesn't send it because he basically says, you were great. If you need help again, and then doesn't. Ryan's face in the booth right now, guys.
Like, what?
Yeah. He's
you were great if you need help.
Yeah. So he doesn't send it. So then instead she just sends a kissy face night text, and he does the same. I mean, it's a little sketchy, right, Ryan?
That's pretty sketchy.
Yeah.
I'm just curious about the true intention. What do you think, Katie?
I think that obviously I knew right away that they were lying to their significant others, which makes me a little sad just because, as they called them, Bughead, I believe is what they called them. Betty and Jughead's name is Bughead.
Nice.
I'm on that team. I love that team. I love them together. Do I love Archie and Veronica? 50-50 on it. I think in the right circumstances, I'm totally team Archie. With this circumstance, I'm not. It just feels a little sketchy to me. So I feel like in long term, and, in Endgame, yeah, of course I'd be okay with Archie, but in different circumstances. So let's see. Some people said definitely forced. They wouldn't do that to Jughead and Veronica. Bughead is Endgame. Archie is better as friends, is what Jazzy Jones says. And then Brian Alexander says, to be honest, I wasn't mad that it was planned. It was entertaining entertaining AF. So... And then Gratian Ryan said, rest in peace, Bughead. I don't like that. I don't know. I'm not ready to say bye to Bughead, but we'll see. So, but everybody in our chat tends to be team Archie. So, I don't know. We'll see. But anybody else in their chat have any other last minute things that you want me to talk about in predictions to this episode? Like, I mean, we do know, they mentioned Charles, but he wasn't actually in it. So we know he was in on this plan, but you didn't see him, so we don't really know anything about that. And then on the side note, Cheryl thought Betty was going to be suicidal and says she wants to put her on suicide watch. That was a random thing that they threw in there that I was a little bit confused by. It was an interesting turn because I didn't feel like Betty seemed in, like, obviously she was distraught over this death, but unfortunately it wasn't a real death. And then Cheryl says she's going to be there, but then goes and exposes Betty and Archie. Now, do you guys think that Cheryl was in on it too? Because they don't just specifically mention Cheryl being in on it, but I would assume she was in the right place at the right time. She always says, why am I always the one that catches these two kissing? So do you guys think that Cheryl was in on it? Let's see. Jazzy Jones says Archie should stay single if Archie breaks up, and Archie never liked Betty anyways. Whoa, that's harsh. So on a side note, that's pretty much in a nutshell this whole episode. If I missed anything that was worth mentioning, I am sorry. You guys can still send me a shout out. I'll try to shout it out real quickly. But I am going to give you a time to type in your class president and your class clown. So obviously it's our segment for those of you who have never been tuned into this show before. It is our special segment where we talk about our class president for the episode and our class clown for the episode. Class president for this episode is gonna just be honestly all team, like the team Jughead thing, in the sense that they were able to pretty smartly hide this, other than from Donna, because Donna is just very, very observant. But I know it's not one person, but I think that they all worked very well in the sense that they were smart. They knew kind of what step to be at. And then there was the scene at the Jughead's funeral where they basically try to, Donna tries to start something, and they all jump to defend it, and they'd be like, this is not the place for that. So I did like that. Class clown. At first, I was going to say Veronica's sister again because, obviously she's always trying to butt in on this and everybody knows who she is. But the class clown, honestly, I feel like it was Cheryl just because, even though she was barely in this episode, I just felt like that whole thing with the way that she was trying to help Betty, it just seemed a little fake for Cheryl. It didn't seem very genuine for me. And I know that's probably a weird person to pick for class clown for this episode. That's just her she didn't make sense, didn't really feel Cheryl to me. So let me see the chat says. So first of all, Brian said Cheryl wasn't in on it, she was creating drama. Jazzy Jones says class clown was Donna and Brett. I mean, that's also very, very, I'm okay with them always being class clown. I can't stand either of them. And then Peyton McKenzie, a lot of people saying Stonewall Prep were the class clown. Class president was Team Betty. That's a better name for it. Team Betty. All right. Class president, Betty, Veronica, Archie team. Class president, Team Jughead. So you guys are all kind of on the same. And then Brian Alexander did say class clown was also Hermosa because she annoyed you. I understand that too. Like I said, I kind of thought she was the class clown at first. So it seems like we all kind of agree on that. So with all that said, thank you guys so much for the class present, class clown. If you think of another one, go ahead and tweet me. You guys can send them. I would love to hear these. But we are going to head into some news.
AfterBuzz TV News.
So on Madeline Petch, I don't know if I said her name right. She posted a throwback picture of her Instagram tonight, which I believe Ryan is going to throw up a picture on the screen. Oh, I think it was the first one. Oh, yeah, okay, cool.
It was the first one,
Yeah, very, very first one.
Was
Sorry.
this one right here?
It's a bloody picture from her Instagram.
Oh, it's a bloody one.
It's a link.
So it's not this one. Stand by 1 second.
Sorry, folks. Yeah, basically, Madeline posted a picture from the set. It was a throwback picture, and she's covered in blood because she said, like, in honor of a new episode tonight, and she posted herself covered in blood. I don't know what from episode it was because it definitely wasn't this week's episode. I think Ryan's working on it. We'll see.
We got it up.
All right.
It's loading.
Sorry, folks. Stand by. There you go. So I do like a good behind-the-scenes bloody photo, so I felt like sharing that. She's pretending to eat it because it's probably corn syrup, so of course it's probably tastes a little bit yummy. But I don't know what from episode this is, but I do like those photos. And then on another side of the spectrum, it was a year ago today, unfortunately, that Luke Perry passed. So all of the cast was posting Instagram photos in tribute to him. So the first one, and it doesn't matter which order on these, Ryan, so I can just share it. This one was the one that Madeline posted on it. She said, woke up and realized it's been a year since we lost you. And she posted a sweet picture of her and Luke. And then also Cammie posted a photo, which I believe might be the second one, of a group picture saying, thinking of you today. And it was a really sweet picture of the entire cast all together. And last but not least, there was a link, Ryan, to a post by Molly Ringwald, and she posted a picture of Luke Perry as well as a memoriam as well, and she said, I can't believe it's been a year since we lost you, this beautiful soul. So they all were sending their love to their fallen cast members. So that was just beautiful to see them all continue to shout out the person who was just such a big face of this show. So yeah, that's what we have for news today. And on that note, we're going to talk about predictions. Ryan?
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right. So, predictions. Send me yours, because obviously I'm flying solo here, so it's just me talking. And for my predictions, as much as I hate to say it, Archie and Betty are endgame, but I don't know that we're going to see that come to fruition this season. I think it's going to be more long-term. Who is Donna? So we didn't talk about that. Donna was revealed to be someone else because Hermosa revealed her. And I say this for predictions because I honestly have a feeling it has something to do with the cult. And I don't like to say it because I really hated that storyline. But it has to be someone that they all recognize. So my prediction is that it goes to that. So on the side, on now to the chat, External Shockwave says, prediction, Barchi gets together at the end of the season or in season 5. Okay. Gratian Ryan, Kevin's storyline will probably lead into Charles and Chick's plan somehow. Interesting, because we haven't heard about Charles and Chick's plan in a while. And Donna is going to end up being another of Never Never's wife, or Ever Never's wife. And I mean, we're kind of on the same page. We both said Cole, something to do with that. I don't necessarily think it's for sure, I can't think of her name, but the one who's been in the whole season so far. I don't know if it's her, but she has kept saying that she talked to her and she's communicating with her. So it really wouldn't be completely surprising if it was the same person. So Donna is the daughter of someone, is what Jazzy Jones said. Ooh, I hadn't thought about that. All right. And then Billie Jean Girl says, are they gonna switch couples? And Jughead and Veronica gonna get together if Archie and Betty get together? That's a solid prediction too. So, all right. I think those are some good predictions, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, and we will see you next week. You guys can follow me on social media at KT_Christine on Instagram and Twitter. And if you guys have any tweets and things about the show, just hit me up on those. You can also find me on the Batwoman After Show at 10:10 on Sunday nights, or Monday on the Con Guy at 10:10 on Popcorn Talk. And Ryan, where can they follow you if they want to follow you?
You guys can follow me at Ryan Nilsen. That's RYNILSEN on Twitter, and Ryan Nilsen on Instagram. And Star Wars news every Thursday, 4 p.m. We're freaking out tomorrow because this week was nuts. So if you tune in at 4 p.m. live, you're going to see some crazy stuff.
Sounds good. So if you like Star Wars, watch that. And have a wonderful week, everyone. We will see you next week. Thanks so much for joining us.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.